Is Titano going to survive the bear market? Is it ever going to recover? Are people going to make their money back? Well, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at Titano as a whole, what they have coming up, and of course, where is this protocol going? So stay tuned and enjoy the video. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eric here and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day and are doing well. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss these videos. Head on over to the Discord in the description below if you want to stay up to date with the community. But today we're taking a look and talking about Titano, their recent announcements, and my thoughts and feelings about this one. So if we just take a look at Titano's price ever since it launched on their own DEX, which is called Switch, we can see that the price has been going from about 8 cents and is now currently around $0.003. So it's not even at half a cent, and it's a bit lower than that. Now, of course, we've had an awful situation in the crypto space, in stocks, economics as a whole. Everything is down, and Titano is obviously a victim of that. And another thing to consider is because Titano is paired with BNB, well, if BNB goes down, Titano is going to go down as well with it, because they are paired together. So if there's less value in the BNB side of the liquidity pair and it's not worth as much, well, you still have the same amount, or if not even more Titano, so that's why your price decreases. But now what I want to talk about today is the utility behind Titano, how they can potentially increase their utility for this community and for this project to succeed, because we all know at one point in time we are going to get over this bear market and we are going to see projects rally. But now the question is Titano going to be one of these projects that's gonna rally behind other projects? Now, I don't mean to bash Titano in any way, shape, or form. I love this project. I love the team and community that it's built. I am just concerned about one aspect, and one aspect only, which is the high inflation because of this fixed APY of 102,000%. Now, of course, with rebase projects offering a crazy APY, we all know that inflation is going to be the #1 problem of these projects, and Titano has done a decent job, in my opinion, to create utilities behind this token in order to try and decrease its supply or try to reduce the rate of inflation. Now, the only question I have for Titano and its future is whether or not these current and future utilities are going to be enough to basically stop the inflation and instead decrease the supply of Titano and basically increase the price by decreasing and making Titano's supply more scarce. So hear me out here. If we take a look at Titano right now, we have their own DEX. The decentralized exchange Switch is absolutely phenomenal. I would really like to see them come out with more projects launching on Switch, and they have partnered with Liquid Capital, which is awesome because Liquid Capital is actually going to incentivize people and new projects to actually use this platform, which is the Switch, which is Titano's DEX. So Titano collects fees for all of the transactions that are done on their DEX, and it says here that the Liquid Capital team will promote Titano's DEX as a trusted option for new projects to use this as their decentralized exchange. So that is obviously great news, and basically Titano is using a portion of these fees. So every time there is a transaction done on this DEX, there is a portion of the fee that is going to the buyback and burn of Titano. So that is awesome. The more volume we have on Titano's DEX, the more they can actually use some of that money in order to buy back Titano and burn it. So that's a great utility, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, on the same line, if we take a look at the 24-hour volume of Switch, and as we know right now, we only have the ability of trading Titano on the Switch DEX. So we can see that over the last 24 hours, there's only about $100,000 of volume. So of course, if Liquid Capital is able to promote more projects using the Titano DEX, we're going to see this volume go up, which in turn means that Titano is going to be making more money and in turn is going to be buying back more Titano tokens to then burn them and reduce the inflation rate we currently have. So that is definitely something I am looking forward to. So that is obviously the first utility of Titano. It's awesome and it's really good to have its own decentralized exchange. Now, in terms of other utilities for us holders, we don't actually have a utility that is forced upon us. And what I mean by that is we have the Play project, which you can opt out of the crazy APY and basically try to win a portion of this pool. That's drawn every 7 days. So that's a voluntary decision from your behalf. If you want to participate in that, you can. And it is obviously going to help the Titano protocol. Now, we also have the games, which is basically another way to gamble your Titano tokens. And of course, it's not for everyone because people don't necessarily want to gamble their money away. So that is, again, another voluntary utility in my opinion. And now the third utility that Titano has is their Titano lottery. So you can use your Titano tokens in order to buy a lottery ticket and basically have a chance of winning a portion of the lottery. So again, it's basically voluntary because people don't necessarily have to use their Titano tokens in order to buy a lottery ticket. So it all comes back down to the user of Titano on whether or not they want to participate in these utilities, which are currently all around gambling in my opinion. So obviously with the Play project, you're not losing your tokens, but you're forfeiting your massive APY for a smaller APY for a chance to win some extra money. Now in the games, you are basically just gambling your money away. Whether or not you win, it's entirely dependent on the casino. And the lottery, again, you are withdrawing your tokens. You're basically destroying tokens in order for a chance to win more money. So although these utilities are bringing some actual utility to Titano, in my opinion, they are all surrounding some type of gambling. And of course, it's all voluntary and it's only dependent on each user wanting to physically participate in these projects. So going back to this Titano chart, I've noticed something very interesting about the different spikes in price we've seen over the last few days, and we can clearly see it over these volume candles. So you actually see a volume candle here of about 23,000, another one here 25, and about 25 as well. So I've tracked this transaction down, which basically brings us to this page here. This person who has about $220,000 and about 207,000 of those dollars are in Titano has been buying Titano for the last few days, which is quite interesting in my opinion. If we go on to the exact transactions, we see that they are buying about 6.2 million Titano tokens here. That was 4 days ago, and this was worth about $21,000. Now, they've done that a few more times, and the most recent one is about 2 hours ago. And if we check that one out, they purchased about $20,000 worth of Titano. And if we go on to Titano and we take a look at the top holders, this is actually this wallet address here, which has 207,000 Titano. So it's very interesting to me because as we can see, they first initially bought Titano about 75 days ago. So roughly 2.5 months ago, they decided to get into Titano. And here we can see that over the last few days, they've decided to buy even more Titano. So do they know something that we don't? I'm not too sure. Are they calling that this is the bottom for Titano? Again, I'm not sure. And it's just a matter of time. But I definitely found that interesting, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And we have seen a bit of momentum for Titano over the last few days. Now, going back to this inflation problem, if we take a look at titanchess.com, here we have different stats about the tokens burnt and the amount of tokens in circulation. So if we just take a look at the circulating supply graph, because as we know, Titano is inflationary, which means they are printing tokens every 30 minutes because rebases are happening every 30 minutes. So taking a look at this circulating supply graph, if we take a look at the last 14 hours, let's say, we had a circulating supply of about 9 billion tokens about 15 hours ago. Now, according to this graph, we can see that we are now at 9 billion and 100 million tokens, so 9.1 billion in terms of circulating supply, which means that about 100 million tokens have been printed in the last 15 hours. Now, if we do the same analysis with the tokens burnt, we can see right now that over the last 15 hours, we were at 335 million tokens burnt, and now we are at 339 million tokens burnt. So again, over those last 15 hours or so, there has been about 4 million tokens sent to the burn wallet. Now, of course, I understand that the tokens that are accumulated from the games, from the Play project, as well as the lottery and the decentralized exchange may not be accounted in this number here because they do wait for a big chunk of tokens and then they decide to burn these tokens all at once. But if we just take a look at the last 15 hours and what we have so far, we have 100 new million tokens and about only 4 million tokens burnt. So that would mean that roughly every 15 hours, we have about 96 million tokens more added to the circulating supply. And if we just think of that, that means that it's going to take a lot more for the price of Titano to go up because every 15 hours, you're adding even more tokens to the supply of Titano. Now, as I said, Titano did recently do a burn of about 143 million Titano tokens, and this was partly from the games that they have been running with this casino. So if we go onto this casino and we go to all of the house edge distributions and we click on this transaction, it is going to bring us to this wallet, and it's basically from BetSwirl to one of Titano's wallets. And as we click on that, we can see that they have been accumulating some fees over the last month or so, and they did send those out yesterday to this wallet address. So if we click that, it is going to bring us to their burn wallet address, or the wallet that they accumulate all the tokens and then they send to the burn wallet. So as we can see, a day and 4 hours ago, they did get those 31 million tokens from the BetSwirl basically, and then they were able to send about 143 million Titano tokens into the burn wallet, and that was worth roughly $446,000. So I'm not saying that Titano is not burning tokens. I'm just saying that with the current state of Titano, I do believe the inflation is still taking over the amount of tokens that are being burnt, and that may not necessarily be a good thing right now. So to move on and to talk about Titano's future plans and future utilities, we had a video made by Titano Finance yesterday, which was made by Austin Clark. So definitely go follow Austin Clark if you're not following him, and follow Titano's YouTube channel because they are posting some videos and they have some great content on here. Now, the first thing we want to talk about are Titano NFTs. This is going to provide revenue to the treasury because, of course, people who want to buy an NFT are going to have to buy an NFT with their money or their Titano tokens. I really do hope it's Titano tokens and not BNB, because that way we could potentially be burning more Titano if it's with the Titano tokens, and these NFTs are going to have a deflationary purpose. So again, not entirely sure how it's all going to work, but they are planning on bringing that on. Now, something else that was talked about in this video are lending pools, and essentially how that would work is people would forfeit this 102,000% APY, put their tokens into this pool and essentially earn rewards on the people borrowing from this pool in and out. So it's kind of like a liquidity pool, but this is a lending pool, and people would generate money from people borrowing the lending pool's money. So it is very interesting in terms of a concept. But again, it may not be something that everyone wants to do, and maybe again more of a voluntary utility than a hard cold given utility. Now, one of the last things that was mentioned in this video, and probably the most exciting of this video, is that they are planning and working on launching a mobile app for Titano, and basically with a fiat on-ramp, so people could take their Canadian or American or Australian dollar, whatever currency you have, go onto this app and directly buy Titano without having to buy BNB, without having to use a decentralized exchange. It would all be done within the app, which would obviously promote Titano and basically make it more accessible for the everyday investor. So that's a way that they are trying to bring more people onto Titano, is by building this app and by building a fiat on-ramp in order to promote this project and in order to basically make it more accessible. So with all of that being said, we had a lot to talk about in this video. Is Titano eventually going to go back up to the December highs or even to the April highs? In my opinion, I don't know. I really do believe in Titano, but I just genuinely believe that they need to do something about a utility. It needs to be a utility that people need to use, whether or not it's a blockchain and they use Titano for the gas fees of that blockchain. That would probably be the ideal situation, because at a rate of 102,000% APY, it is going to take a lot of utility for Titano to not simply inflate and lose its value and to actually compete against that inflation. Those are my 2 cents. That's what I'm going to leave it on. So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the current utilities we have, Titano's future, the future utility of Titano, and what you think may make Titano succeed in the future. Now again, I am not bashing Titano. I still have my money in there. I don't plan on taking it out, and who knows what the future holds. But that's all I wanted to say today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you've enjoyed, smash the like button, join the Discord, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.